Hey YouTube, this is going to be a quick video, follow-up video. I've been trying to be a little bit better about posting them. Like I said, I got a new computer, got a new camera. I've had a few new questions about my keloids and my tattoos, so I want to go over those. I know a few people asked about getting the tattoo initially, about finding what artist. That's going to be difficult to find. Some artists won't even attempt to tattoo over keloids. Some will. I was lucky enough to find one. One of the things I did though initially is go talk to the tattoo artist. I'll let them know my situation, showed them the scars, and like I said, some artists are going to be completely fine with it and comfortable to do so. Others are not. Some of the other stuff that has changed, if you do go to an artist, is I had initial ideas with my tattoos on how I wanted them to lay out, and being an artist, being in a tattoo, it's his work. It's going to be permanent. It's going to be on someone's body. He wants to represent himself the best way available. So he was actually able to work around with some of my designs so they fit the keloids. What I say by that are, because the skin is raised and a certain or specific design might not flow right unless you orientate it correctly around the keloids and scars themselves. Like I said, they are directly on the scars. It was kind of cool to see. One of my last tattoos I got, which I do have a new one on my back, which I'll show you. There was a newer tattoo artist there, and as he was going and doing the tattoos, he was talked about going over the keloids and how it is a different technique when he does go over them, to take that extra precaution so the scar doesn't blow out. And when I say blow out, is break open, the ink will kind of flow into that. And if, let's say you're going in a straight line across the scar, if you blow out, you're going to lose that line. And it's not going to look good. So he did take that extra precaution. Like I said, he knew what he was getting into when he initially started the tattoo. So to make it the best possible tattoo he could, and in my case, is to cover up the keloids. And that's going to lead me in my next kind of section I'm going to talk about, is why I even decided to get tattoos. I always wanted tattoos when I was younger, seeing them growing up, they look so cool, it seemed like you make the guy look like a badass. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to get a tattoo. And then I looked even more into it when I realized I had keloids, that they weren't going anywhere, to almost act as a cover-up. So the whole specific reason behind getting tattoos wasn't to just cover up my keloids. I was going to have tattoos regardless. I just ended up getting them later in life than I initially expected. And I found out probably when I was about 16 what the keloids even were. I was almost kind of devastated because I went to the dermatologist, talked about it. He said they're not going anywhere. They're not going to be able to change. There's nothing you can do. And, like I said, it was devastating to me because I felt like I was going to be stuck with these for the rest of my life. And some of you guys can relate, taking your shirt off, the people that don't know what they are, they might look funny, you might feel like they're judging you. But I honestly wouldn't worry about that. As it obviously affected me more when I was younger, but now I'm older, stuff like that doesn't matter. You need to be comfortable in your own skin. Just with me, like I said, it's helped out a lot having the tattoos over it. But that should not be a determining factor to getting a tattoo. Is just to cover up your keloids. I said I was going to get them regardless. Took a little bit longer, and ended up getting them anyway. Some of the other stuff I like to talk about is the steroid injections. It's something that I got, searched a lot of avenues, tried to figure out some of the methods I could do to reduce the size of the keloids. And when I say size, a lot of them are raised up off the skin, being it's a scar, to flatten it out, to even kind of fade it away a little bit. And those did help. Found a dermatologist that did it for probably about 2 years, once or twice, every other month or whatever it may be. We're basically just getting an injection into each scar, and it did help flatten them out. It did help change the color of some of them. Some of them are still raised. It's not going to make them go away. And another thing I actually did try is, sorry about my phone, is to do like a laser surgery. I know a lot of other people do it for other specific scars. That didn't work out so well. It hurt a lot worse than any of the injections did. It ended up scabbing when it did heal, and I didn't see any really results from it at all. So me personally, I would advise against that. The steroid injections, there's no negative effect to trying it, so you could definitely search that avenue. And then, like I said, the reasons I even started making these videos is because there really was no documentation for keloids and tattoos and what it may do. And just because in my specific case I didn't have any adverse effect, I'm not going to say, and if I say go out and get them, just take some of the precautions, watch some of my older videos and what I did about getting a test tattoo. As far as care of tattoos, it shouldn't change or differ at all. I didn't do anything different than any other normal person would when they got their tattoo. Same exact care, making sure you're putting ointment on it, making sure you're not rubbing up against stuff. One person asked me about working out with tattoos. That's the same. I always schedule it, because, I do lift regularly, I do work out, but you obviously don't want to get sweat, you don't want to irritate the tattoo. So whenever I do get a new tattoo or, outline, whatever it may be, I do take a few days off the gym to let that, skin properly heal. But it's going to be no different because I have keloids. Anyone else that gets tattoos is going to do the same thing. That way the skin and ink does heal. So now to get to my new and actually one of my biggest tattoos and the longest sitting I've had done since I started doing this, documentation of keloids and tattoos, is the one on my back. So this is one of the first ones I got, which was on my shoulder, which I showed you guys that one in one of my older videos. So work with me on trying to get this angle. But as you can see, it does wrap all the way down around my back, and actually kind of plays into this one I got on the top of my shoulder. I did do the same thing. I went and I got the outline done first, gave it about 2-3 weeks, and then went back and got the shading done. The shading itself took probably about over 2 hours. Like I said, it was one of my longest sittings. It probably was the most trauma I've had induced to my skin. And this was probably a month or two ago. The tattoo's fully healed. I've had no issues, no new keloids. And that's one of the other things when I initially started getting tattoos. I didn't see any new evidence of any new keloids. So I know when I was younger, you see maybe a new one pop up here or there. That stopped happening. So that was one of the kind of determining factors that led me to finally push to get the tattoo. But like I said, since I've got all of my tattoos, I've had no other issues. I continue and have intent on getting more tattoos. I'll probably start working on maybe some type of sleeve. Still going to do an update video, letting you guys know, keeping you guys informed, making sure that nothing's going wrong, that I've had no other issues. But at the end of the day, I just hope these videos can be helpful. Always feel free to shoot me a message, ask me a question, let me know if you want to see something. I just really kind of want to help people out, because I know when I initially went to search to try to find some of this data, there really was none. So that's why I'm trying to put this out there. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully it's helpful. If you enjoyed it, like I said, give a thumbs up, like it, subscribe. I plan on putting out more videos. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys.